Hello, my name is Sean Koreski. I'm a magnet therapy specialist with North-South Wellness. Welcome to my channel. On this channel, I'm going to be presenting just the scientific basis for magnet therapy. I'm going to be quoting from different studies and presenting information for you, my very intelligent audience. I'm not going to be making any medical claims or trying to influence anybody's thinking. I'm just going to be presenting the information as I found it, and I'm going to let you, my intelligent audience, come to their own conclusions. Now, for this first video, I decided to choose a very neutral subject. It's related with one of the subjects that I found to be the most confusing at first, was this idea of magnetized water. That's right, using a magnetic field to magnetize, quote unquote, water. I thought that sounded very far-fetched and difficult to believe because I just knew that water is not magnetic. And yes, it isn't magnetic in the traditional sense that we think of it, but this study was the one I first found, and it actually has nothing to do with magnet therapy. It actually has to do with cement, concrete. Yeah, it says the effect of magnetic treatment of mixing water on the behavior of cement-based materials. So this was water that was magnetized or, exposed to a magnetic field before it was used as mixing water for concrete, and what difference that made. Now, one of probably the most important points in this paper here is under the section titled Permanent Magnet. Now, down towards the bottom it says this, and I'm just going to quote from it. It says, the North Pole, the negative pole, is responsible for increasing the pH value towards alkalinity, while the South Pole, the positive pole, can contribute to increased acidity of water treated with a magnetic field. That little bit right there reads almost like it came out of a magnet therapy book, because that property right there between alkalinity and acidity, and being able to influence the pH balance of water, is probably one of the most important foundations of magnet therapy. It explains probably 90% of the different effects that magnets have in living beings. But in this particular case, we're talking about, just concrete. And pH balance is not the only thing that changes. We also have changes in surface tension, for example. I'm just going to read down this list here. It says pH value, like we already mentioned, the viscosity, electrical conductivity, the structure of water molecules changes, the temperature of evaporation rate and boiling point change, and also, very importantly, solubility. That means the rate at which and how well minerals dissolve in water. That changes with exposure to a magnetic field. In the case of concrete, that makes a very important point because it changes the way the concrete sets. So on this page with figure 3, we can see cement slabs on a highway exposed to a wide range of temperature changes from winter to summer after 1 year. The cement slab produced with regular water looks very porous, kind of crumbling. And the cement slab produced with magnetically treated water is different. It looks smooth and almost like stone. Then we look at figures 4. These are highway precast pavement blocks after 3 years. The concrete produced with regular water, once again, it's crumbling at the edges. And then we look at the concrete produced with magnetically treated water. It's nice and smooth, stone-like. The other figure 5 shows the pavement after 5 years, but it's kind of redundant. The pictures really aren't that great, but they're enough to convey the image. We can see that there is a notable difference between concrete prepared with magnetized water and concrete that was produced just with tap water. Why is that important for us? Well, because the human body, as we can see here in this chart, is actually quite a large percentage water. We take the brain, it has 75% water, blood has 83% water, the heart 79% water, bones have 22% water, and so on and so on. So the body contains a considerable amount of water. If we can influence the properties of the water for mixing concrete, it might be logical to assume we could influence, at least in a subtle way, the water that's flowing through our veins. And that is one of the foundations of magnet therapy. In conclusion, I wanted to quote from the last part of this study. The conclusion is always my favorite part. In the second paragraph, it says, when water molecules are exposed to a magnetic field, they align in a single direction and become smaller in size compared to regular water. Moreover, magnetically treated water demonstrates lower surface tension, viscosity, and boiling point compared to regular water. Additionally, researchers have observed that minerals and acids are more soluble in magnetically treated water. Those are some very important changes in the water. And so after reading this study, I began to understand how it is that you can basically magnetize water and have it change its properties. And that also applies to the water flowing in our veins. That's part of our blood and the different fluids in our body. So if you found that information interesting, you can go ahead and like this video. Also, you could subscribe to my channel and put the alerts on so that you can see whenever I come out with a new video. It was a pleasure recording for you today, and I look forward to producing more videos for you. Until then, good health to you all.